Chapter 1783. This thing is destined to be with me. The Battle of Barada was particularly difficult. Because Zhang Yi's team defeated a mechanical army in less than half an hour, they instinctively thought that these iron guys were stupid and weak and could be easily defeated. But when they really arrived at the battlefield, they realized how ridiculous their thoughts were. Emperor Shirtian's ability was completely restrained in front of the super-large mechanical life form. Whether it was the prelude of time or the final chapter of reincarnation, it would not work for non-organic creatures, and his most proud white bishop-level attack method was greatly weakened in front of the defense field. He could only rely on his high ability index to block the attack of the super-large mechanical life form and then forcibly try to break through its defense. This battle ended with the victory of the human camp, but the victory was very tragic. More than 50 of the more than 100 aliens who came this time died in the battle. The aliens who can follow Emperor Shirtian are the elite among the 3 major tribes. The worst must be more than 8,000 points. So the loss of these people is a bit unacceptable to the entire Barada. The battle between Emperor Shirtian and the super-large mechanical life form lasted for more than 20 minutes. He relied entirely on his hard power to forcibly tear open the defense of the super-large mechanical life form and destroy it. However, compared with Zhang Yi, his efficiency was obviously lower. Although he won, Emperor Shirtian was not happy at all. The surroundings were full of smoke, and the high morale of the Barada aliens when they first arrived also disappeared. They collected the bodies of their comrades in a desolate manner. Emperor Shirtian calmed his eyes and said loudly to Azura, Gao Changkong and his confidants behind him, "This is a war. There will be casualties in war. They just went to heaven and returned to the arms of the 3-phase god." However, his voice became louder, and he opened his arms. Behind him were the destroyed super-large mechanical life forms. Our victory is beyond doubt. And we have obtained these mechanical life forms, which will enable the technological level of Barada to be raised to an unimaginable level in the future. Their sacrifice is worth it. The aliens of Barada looked at each other, thinking about Emperor Shirtian's words, and thought that it made sense. Although the situation was a little worse than expected, they still gained something. Counting the fragments of these mechanical life forms and their energy cores that were confiscated, then the losses caused by the death of so many elite aliens in the battle can also be compensated. Emperor Shirtian looked at Bada next to Gao Changkong. He pointed his finger and said, "Tashita, come here." Bada stepped forward in response, and Emperor Shirtian said, "Please keep these mechanical life wreckages. Hand them over to the research center after returning to Barada." Among so many people, only Badu has the ability to store a large number of objects. However, his space is not at the same level as Zhang Yi. Looking around, the whole city is full of mechanical wreckage. In addition to super-large mechanical life forms, at most only a few thousand mechanical life forms can be stored in it. He nodded. "Yes, I will follow your orders." Emperor Shirtian was not completely confident in Gao Changkong's people. He asked his mechanics to take out the core of the super-large mechanical life form first. He had seen this thing at Bodaka, so he knew that this thing was the most precious. The energy core with a diameter of 1 meter was carried by a trustworthy reinforcement alien. Gao Changkong and Bada saw the scene, looked at each other, and a barely perceptible smile appeared on their faces. This energy core will most likely be carried by Bada later. After the end of the world, it is not convenient to travel. It is very dangerous to carry such a big and important thing with you. It is safest to store it in the space of the space alien. The space system itself is extremely rare, and there are even fewer space aliens with storage ability. Emperor Shirtian has not had time to rest, and suddenly received a communication request from Fremons. It was sent by none other than Budagia. Emperor Shirtian frowned slightly, but after all, he was on someone else's territory, so he answered the call. Budagia's smiling face appeared on the screen. "Sir Emperor Shirtian, our satellite detected that you are fighting with the mechanical civilization in the southern federal region. May I ask how the battle is going?" Emperor Shirtian quickly showed an expression of everything is under control and smiled calmly, those mechanical life forms have been dealt with by us. It's very easy, and there is no difficulty in dealing with them. He deliberately avoided the battlefield and the screen to prevent Budagia from seeing the scene of the Barada aliens collecting the bodies of their comrades. Even the surviving aliens had many signs of wounds on their bodies and looked very embarrassed. Budagia showed a sincere smile on his face, and he said in an exaggerated tone, "Oh, you are worthy of being Lord Indra of Barada. I have deeply felt your might. Thank you for your hard work in helping us deal with these mechanical life forms. But after such a big battle, I believe you must be tired. Why don't you take a good rest? As for the hard work of cleaning the battlefield, let us send someone to do it." Indra's face changed slightly, and he wanted to curse in his heart. They suffered heavy losses in this battle. If they don't get more benefits, wouldn't it be a waste of work? But thinking of this, that, there were so many things that they couldn't take them all away. After all, there were tens of thousands of mechanical life forms. They didn't have the ability to transport them all, unless there was an Epsilon-class space storage ability. But they only had 50 or 60 people, some of whom were injured, and some were helping to collect corpses or treat teammates. So even the wreckage of mechanical life forms that they had worked so hard to take down could only be thrown here. Emperor Shirtion had no choice but to say, "We worked hard to take down these things." As for Fremons, Bodaka said quickly, "Don't worry, we will certainly compensate you afterwards. We Fremons will not let our friends suffer." Emperor Shirtion nodded. "Well, come over in 2 hours." After ending the communication, Emperor Shirtion still asked Badu to put the super-large mechanical life forms into his martial arts field. In addition, some mass-produced machines that were still intact were also collected. As for the remaining tens of thousands of mechanical life forms, they did not understand their structure and could not disassemble them accurately, so they had to stay where they were and wait for the Fremons engineering team to come and take them away. Bodaka's nose was almost crooked with laughter. After all, there are only a few aliens like Chaos. Other countries do not have high-level space aliens, so they cannot take away the mechanical life forms they have defeated. In the end, they will be left to us in Fremons. Bodaka's eyes flashed brightly. As long as we can crack the technology of these mechanical life forms, even if Fremons is now damaged and scarred everywhere, we can rely on this huge army of mechanical life forms to become the most powerful country in the world in the future. He immediately gave orders to Fremons engineering troops, asking them to rush to that area immediately and do everything they can to collect tens of thousands of mechanical life forms. Bodaka was very grateful at this time. Fortunately, these foreign aliens did not know enough about mechanical life forms. Otherwise, they would understand that the most valuable thing about these mechanical life forms is the core of their functions. As for machines, only a few machines are needed to study their technology thoroughly. But only the core that is very small in size but has huge energy is the real core of technology. In Barada, Emperor Shirtion ordered his subordinates who were still able to work to clean up the battlefield as soon as possible. But there was nothing special to clean up. Now they just had to pick up those mechanical life forms that looked intact and move them to Badu to take them to the martial arts arena. They didn't notice that more than 100 kilometers away, someone was silently watching everything here. In front of Ling was an instrument the size of a tablet computer, which clearly showed the scene of the battlefield. Zhang Yi and Deng Shintong came to the side and looked at this scene in great surprise. "Is it still possible? Can't they find it?" Zhang Yi asked. Ling used drones for reconnaissance, but a team of aliens like Barada has professional engineers for reconnaissance and counter-reconnaissance. Logically speaking, it is impossible not to find a simple reconnaissance method like drones. Ling just replied calmly, "This is a commercial secret, no comment." Zhang Yi touched his nose and didn't ask any more questions. After all, a spy who can stay in Fremons for so long and even take pictures of the battlefield must have his own special ability. Zhang Yi guessed that it was probably some kind of stealth method. Not only is it optically invisible, it can also avoid detection by technological means like Lu Qian's Snowy Owl. It was a coincidence that Zhang Yi and his team met Barada's team. They were heading west from the Far East to Samran City, and their route just passed through the Southern Federation. Since both sides had the same goal, the probability of meeting each other was very high. Moreover, Zhang Yi could not fail to feel the powerful energy fluctuations that erupted from a battle of that level. In this way, they temporarily changed their direction and rushed over to check. As a result, they just happened to find the battle between Barada's alien troops and the mechanical army. In the picture, the war was over, and Barada's aliens suffered heavy casualties and were cleaning up the battlefield. Chaos. What do you say? Deng Shintong winked at Zhang Yi from the side. They don't have your ability to empty the entire battlefield. Why don't we go over and collect those mechanical life forms? At present, it seems that they have not discovered the value of those mechanical life forms. Zhang Yi and his team came a few days in advance and had already asked Lu Qian and Yang Xinxin to study them. Nowadays, Zhang Yi and others have already understood the structure of mechanical life forms and know more clearly how to disassemble them and obtain their precious energy cores. Hearing Deng Shintong's words, Zhang Yi just nodded slowly. However, his eyes fell on the curly-haired, dark-skinned Iron Tower burly man behind Emperor Shirtian. To be precise, it fell on the heavy metal box behind him. The core of the super-large mechanical life form is there. I want that thing more, Zhang Yi said lightly. That thing is very complicated. Lu Karen and Yang Xinxin have studied it for a long time, but they have not yet completely analyzed it. But according to preliminary research, this energy core alone is at least equivalent to the reactors of 5 Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. Not considering how much energy is contained in the energy material it uses. Just based on its volume, it can accommodate such high energy, which is enough to greatly improve human industrial technology. Assumption 1. Next, if this super-energy core with a diameter of only 1 meter is placed on a car, ship, airplane, or aircraft, what will be the result? Lu Qian said to Zhang Yi that once this technology can be completely cracked, it will no longer be a dream to break through the current technological limits of mankind and build a large spacecraft. This is a truly good thing. Zhang Yi had a Doomsday fortress plan. That is to escape from the surface world when an unavoidable crisis comes. Underground fortresses, or drifting spacecraft, are currently the best solutions. However, there are many difficulties in front of us. The backwardness of scientific and technological means is one of the biggest problems. At this time, seeing such an important thing, Emperor Shirtian actually just let a Delta-level alien carry it on his back. Zhang Yi immediately realized that the people of Barada did not realize how valuable this thing is. There was a conflict between Zhang Yi and the 8 tribes. Now that he saw such a good opportunity, how could he not have an idea? Deng Shintong widened his eyes in surprise and said with a smile, "No way? Are you going to rob Barada's things at this time? Hey, don't make it so big." At this time, the alien forces of various countries should be in a loose alliance. If Zhang Yi did that, not only would his reputation be ruined, but he would also offend the host Fremons. Zhang Yi twisted his neck. Why not do it quietly? He looked at Deng Shintong, who was confused. You take your people away first and keep our convoy away from this route. Make sure that no one will suspect us. Deng Shintong understood what Zhang Yi was going to do, and he shrugged. Since you are so confident, just do it. Zhang Yi waved goodbye to them, and then called out Mu Yan. Mu Yan usually spoke little, and in Zhang Yi's team, she always played the role of a tool and did not directly participate in the battle. Zhang Yi said, "We'll have to rely on your ability when we get there later." Mu Yan nodded slowly. The black veil covered her eyes and her expression could not be seen clearly, but she always obeyed Zhang Yi's orders unconditionally. Now, under Zhang Yi's training, she has reached an ability index of 9,800 points. Looking back, when she just passed the 9,000-point ability index, she was able to hide from Zhang Yi, who was at the Ypsilon level, and hide in his shadow. Now, her ability to conceal her breath will only be stronger.